Well, for years I lived off grid, and now I'm just off my rocker. I was going to make a script. I don't need it, and I never use it. I thought today I would have some important things to say. And I do. Just got back from a trip. If you're stressing out about leaving because of fuel, you had big plans and they're all falling apart right now. I just spent some time with a friend of mine, actually two people over the last couple days, a little bit, that had big plans. Now, I still have plans to leave internationally, but even those are kind of slimming down. Reason being, it's just going to be fuel, cost, overhead, everything, and what's going on with the oil and the war. So I was thinking, instead of getting stressed out, and I had a long talk with my buddy, and he was fully stressed, had big plans, but he was going to drive clear across the United States and then back and then up north and then down. And he's like, I just can't do it. And I go, well, think about this. I don't drive. Now, I know a lot of people give me such a hard time. Like, well, then how do you resupply? You know, how do you go fill up your ice chest? Hey, by the way, I got a Travoca refrigerator freezer, and it runs off AC DC, and I'm going to be showing you that later. Anyway, I have to refuel. I have to do all that stuff, but not on here, just here. You know, I need that power. Now, what I want to talk about quickly is just everything that I don't need much. You know, look at here. I got my hammock. I'm here at base camp. You know, I'm in a residential spot with my shed full of boxes right now. That's why I'm out here going to kick it and have a little fire in my little fire pit there. And yeah, anyway, I'm going to downsize even more. But, you know, for me, if you've been watching me, I'm actually upsizing a little bit. Like, I got things that out at base camp where I'm going to hide out this summer. Hey, by the way, looking at land with this guy up in Gardnerville, Gil Evans on the Eastern Sierra. You know, if you've been watching me, that's what I'm going for, is land out there. But, you know, in the meantime, I'm just doing my thing, traveling around on a bike, living on a bike, cutting my expenses. I'm 60 years old, just totally slashing things down. I got the bike, that's my transportation. I live on this bike. That's the Road Hopper. It used to be a Rock Hopper. Now it's officially named the Road Hopper for doing pavement and doing dirt. Anyway, everything I need is right here within reach almost, you know? Like, say I have a base camp on the Eastern Sierra or Nevada or anywhere. And see, I've been dropped off. People go, well, how do you just get dropped off? Well, the solar panels. This year I'll have a better cooler. I stock up. I'm hidden. I'm very well hidden. Or I'm around other people that camp that know me and watch my stuff while I'm out for an overnighter. I open this thing up. I grab a few oranges and some food, and I get on the road and I go. I have my stove. And base camp, you know, I can have more. I can have central command. And central command, if you watch me, you know, is like power banks and all the stuff fully charged. And by the way, you know, if you have a Bluetti or you have any sort of Jackery, which is the power banks, and Travoca makes one, I'm going to get one soon. Then you're all powered up. Have a couple of those charged up. Solar panels on top of my shed pretty soon. And I get the carry case for those. I get dropped off in the middle of anywhere, and I got everything I need. The other thing is, you know, communication. I need communication. I'm still living on the grid, really, right? I'm kind of on the grid. I don't know. I know a lot of you live like I do, or even less, on the bike or a backpack with nothing, like Eric Comp or a lot of you guys, Lido Tour TV. You know, you guys live in your cars or whatever, but you don't need much. You guys know, so many of you know, you don't need hardly anything. I got my little solar panel back here. We're going to be... Now, the bigger stuff I'm keeping in the shed. I got some new stuff I'm going to show you soon. Self-contained. You know, you can't get much more off-grid than me. I mean, I say that, and I know some of you are going to go, well, I don't have anything. And I get that. I didn't have anything either, just not too long ago. And now, all of a sudden, I'm getting too much. So there's a balance there. If you're stressing about this summer, and it's like, oh, man, it's looking bleak, think about this. Hey, say you don't drive. You're like me, and you haven't done any of this. And if you look at, like, this company or many more, and you got your solar panels, now they're big ones, you know, the bigger ones, and they come in a holder, like, and if you have a car, truck, very easy to just set that up out, you know, on the back of your truck, set your tent up. A lot of people do this. But if you have nothing, like if you don't have a car, you can still get out there. If you having a friend or someone that can, like, you get set up and you get dropped somewhere, or just go camp with other people. Now, the other thing I don't suggest or recommend is just getting a bunch of stuff, going to set up a base camp, and making a bunch of trash. That's the other thing, is just, being able to sustain yourself without generating a bunch of trash. And that's hard to do. You got to think that out. Look at the stuff I have in here, I got, I got salsa and stuff. I got plastics. What am I going to do with all that if I don't have a car? So I break all that stuff down, and the next time I get a ride to town, or I take the electric bike, which I hope to get soon, I'll keep the electric bike at base camp. Oh, I got to run into town 5 miles or what. I can do that on here, but I'm human powered most of the time, saving up my energy for the trips up the canyons, the valleys of the Eastern Sierra, out across the desert in Nevada. So I want base camp. This summer is base camp. Move base camp maybe. And for you that have vehicles and cars and RVs, this is your gig, right? You do this. But I'm trying to inspire a few people that really don't have much, maybe don't even want to take a car this summer. And you can forego the, ice chest and all that kind of stuff. But I'm doing it a little differently this year. So I have a place to go hang out. I'll come out of the valley down into the desert somewhere, into the sage, hidden in the trees, and I'll have everything I need right there. Also, your first aid, your medical supplies. Make sure if you do something like this, make sure you have all your meds. Another great reason to get your solar panels, your power bank, and your ice chest, freezer, whatever. You can keep all your if you have meds and that kind of thing. Get self-contained. Get yourself set up somewhere, or your truck, car. What I like is not having a car. I know this is not for everybody, but I like not having a car. I can hide myself very well. I've never had anything taken, stolen, messed with, but I hide myself very well. My solar panels are, I'm usually in a kind of a deserty mountain area where there's, that transition where I can get plenty of sunshine. So even this little solar panel, I've hung out for extra long time out, remote, all by myself, and only charging my phone. I just needed my phone to do things. That was the most important thing. And, I get little stuff. I'm a cyclist, I can't carry everything on the bike, but a lot of things I can. And I might even carry like one of these fire pits for an overnighter or something. It's small. I can fit it in my bag. We'll talk more about all that stuff soon. But yeah, your stove, your water filtration, which I have a bigger one, and some food. See, that, food out of here, some medical stuff just in case, my clothing, my shell on the bike, gone for 2-3 days, back here to base camp, where I can be, back to wherever base camp is. So if you're homeless or you're semi-homeless, unhoused, unsheltered, whatever you want to call it, join the club, but make the best of it. You can, and there is a way.